Morning. How are you? So, getting ready for the board exam? Well, let's revise this poem. Already we had two sessions of the revision of this poem, and let's have the last session. Let's go through this poem. This poem is written by famous poet John Keats, a British romantic poet. Romance means love, love of nature. So, this is a nature poem on nature. So let's go to this poem. Let's recite the poem first and then we'll see some more questions on this poem. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its loveliness increases. It will never pass into nothingness, but will keep a bower quiet for us and a sleep full of sweet dreams and health and quiet breathing. Therefore, on every morrow are we wreathing a flowery band to bind us to the earth, spite of despondence, of the inhuman dearth, of noble natures, of the gloomy days, of all the unhealthy and over-darkened ways, made for our searching, yes, in spite of all, some shape of beauty moves away the pall from our dark spirits, such the sun, the moon, trees old and young, sprouting a shady boon. For simple sheep and such are daffodils, with a green world they live in, and clear rills that for themselves a cooling covert make. Against the hot season, the mid-forest break, rich with a sprinkling of fair muskrose blooms, and such too is the grandeur of the dooms we have imagined for the mighty dead, all lovely tales that we have heard or read, an endless fountain of immortal drink pouring unto us from the heavens brink. We have recited a poem. Now let's see the gist of this poem. The poet John Keats says that beautiful things will never become nothing, as they will continue to hold us in their spell and soothe our soul, comfort our soul. Every beautiful thing is like a band that ties us to this earth, as it makes us want to live and enjoy these things of beauty. And these things of beauty, according to the poet, are the things that give hope to human beings and make them want to live, in spite of all the sorrow, ill health, and unpleasant experiences that we face on earth. Some of the beautiful things on this earth that have such an effect on us are the sun, the moon, trees, streams, flowers, forests, beautiful monuments that we have erected for the dead, all the lovely tales that we have heard or read. Finally, compares all these beautiful things to the immortal drink or nectar given to us by gods or gifts of God. Thus, he states his firm belief in the divine. So, let's go to uh, questions which are extract based. At the beginning, we'll take up questions which are extract based. Yes, in spite of all, some shape of beauty moves away the pall from our dark spirits, such the sun, the moon, trees old and young, sprouting a shady boon for simple sheep, and such are daffodils. What does in spite refer to? The expression in spite of all what? That is a question here, in spite of all. Some shape of beauty. So here before that what he says, he talks about gloomy days, then he talks about unhealthy ways, overdarkened ways made for searching. And in spite of all those, okay, what does in spite of refer to? The expression refers to all the pessimistic and negative thoughts that obstruct our way to happiness. In spite of the sense of hopelessness and gloom, because he talks about gloomy days, overdarkened ways, that overshadow and darken our way, we are able to find our happiness in the beautiful objects on nature. What, according to the poet, drives away the sadness from our life? So, what will drive away the sadness? So, so here it says some shape of beauty. So beauty in shape or form, in particular shape, helps in driving away the sadness and despair from the dark recesses of our spirit. What does the reference simple sheep symbolize? So he goes on telling about so many beautiful things in nature. So he talks about sun, moon, trees. Then when he goes on talking about that, he refers to even simple sheep. Lambs and sheep are envisioned as the embodiments of innocent and serene beauty. So again and again is referred in Bible lamb. Jesus Christ as an apostle of peace was a shepherd and was seen surrounded by his flock of sheep, his followers. The poet has made specific reference to the sheep as symbols of divine beauty. So innocent. So it represents innocence. We are imagined for the mighty deed. So let's take up the second extract. All lovely tales that we have heard or read, an endless fountain of immortal drink pouring unto us from the heaven's brink. So here, what a mighty deed. So let's take up this extract and let's discuss the questions on this extract. So all lovely tales that we have heard or read, an endless fountain of immortal drink pouring unto us from the heaven's brink. So this is the last stanza of the poem and most important stanza. What the mighty dead? The mighty dead refers to those great men, legends, warriors who have laid down their lives, who have sacrificed. So for a cause, who glorified death by embracing it most gracefully and bravely. Why does the poet make this reference? The poet refers to mighty dead because beauty can be seen not only in birth and growth, but also in a magnificent death. So their stories, their great deeds, what lovely tales have we heard or read? A glorified and magnificent death get recorded in the leaves of history. So these stories have been recorded in history, leaving an indelible imprint on it. So these people have left their imprint. It remains an everlasting source of motivation to all those who read or hear about such great men who achieved glory in death. What is referred to as endless fountain of immortal drink. Beauty in all respects, whether in growth or in decay, is a perennial source of motivation. So it is an eternal source of motivation. It is an endless fountain from where we can drink the immortal elixir of life. So let's go to the last question here. Explain pouring unto us from the heavens bring. Beauty is the greatest gift of God to man which has been showered upon us from the heavens above. This beauty is eternal and everlasting, in whose glory men on earth bask and derive their perennial source of joy and happiness. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. A beautiful thing is constant source of happiness. And this beauty is eternal, it is everlasting, it is a gift of God. It is showering upon us from the heavens above. He's talking about that. And therefore you derive perennial source of joy, constant source of happiness from that beauty. So let's go to the questions which are objective type. So these questions will carry 2 marks. So let's go to some of these questions, short answer type questions. So shall we move on? Yes. So what according to Keats are the things that cause suffering and pain? So short answer type question. What according to Keats are the things that cause suffering and pain? The poet says that a scarcity of good-natured people, he goes on telling, dearth, in dearth of noble natures, inhuman dearth of noble natures. He talks about that. So scarcity of good-natured people. Good-natured people are lacking there. Or in other words, the wicked people outnumber the good people. And the source of all our sorrows is either ill health or another human being. So let's move on to the second question now. What makes human beings love life in spite of all the suffering? The poet says that the beautiful things on earth lifts the pall of our spirit and makes life worth living. So the pall, the covering that is there of the sorrow, the beautiful things will remove that, and then it will make our life worth living. Each beautiful thing is like a link that forms a chain or wreath that points us to this earth. So those beautiful things which are there in the lap of the nature, they are binding us to the earth. They are developing kind of attachment to the earth. So here let's go to the next question. Why does the poet say mighty deed? Monuments are erected in memory of people who were mighty or great when they lived. Physically mighty as in mighty warriors, or mentally might as in great poets, writers, or philosophers. Their tombs provide inspiration, or they were the role models. So their tombs, their deeds, they give us inspiration, motivation for the living through their beauty, just as their works continue to do. So their beauty we can find in their deeds. So all these mighty, they're powerful people, these legends, whatever they have done during their lifetime, they were the role models, and those deeds are the ones which provide us inspiration, which motivate us to lead a good life. Well, we see beauty in their great deeds. So let's go through some of these questions which are for practice. So the first stanza, which is a very, very important stanza. So just think over that. What may be the answers for this? Let's recite this extract. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. What does it mean? A beautiful thing is a constant source of happiness. It is an eternal thing. It is a happiness which is forever. So any beautiful thing that you see that will derive happiness again and again when you remember about it, maybe after a few months, when you remember the beautiful thing that you had seen, the beautiful thing that had mesmerized you, when you remember about that, will you not feel happy? You'll feel definitely happy. So after a few days, when you remember about that beautiful landscape which had captivated you, then what happens? It's a loveliness increases, it's a beauty increases. The joy that you get after 1 month when you remember about that, probably you'll feel more happiness there. So that's why it's a loveliness increases. That's why it's a beauty increases. It will never pass into nothingness. See, it will always remain in the hinterland of your memory. It will always remain there. The beautiful thing that had captivated you, the beautiful thing that was a source of happiness to you, that will never pass into nothingness. It will never fade from your mind. It will always be there in your mind. Again and again, you will have the vision of that, a visual image of that, that will flash again and again in your mind. But will keep a bower quiet for us, and it will be like a shade that will make you quiet, that will provide you quietude. It will make you at peace. You'll be at calm. That will provide you calmness. And as a result of that, what will happen? And you will get a sleep full of sweet dreams. So you'll have a sound sleep. It will be like a boon to you, and you will have a sound sleep when you just think about that beautiful thing which is deriving a lot of joy and happiness. A sleep full of sweet dreams and health, and you will have a very good health, and you will have quiet breathing. So when you are in tranquil mood, when you are quite happy, when you are calm, how's your breathing? Your breathing is quiet. And when you are in tension, you start panting. Your breathing, it starts increasing. So quiet breathing means you are at peace, you are at calm, so here quiet breathing. Therefore, on every morning, so every day, what are we doing? Are we reading a flowery band? So what are we doing? We are trying to read a garland. What we are doing, that a flowery band we are weaving, and this flowery band that we are weaving, the garland that we are weaving, that is binding us, that is creating kind of attachment with the earth. So try to give answer for these questions. What is a special virtue of a beautiful thing? Very simple. What is a special virtue? A beautiful thing is a joy forever. So it is a constant source of happiness. How does it bless us? It will always provide us joy. So the blesses, you can go on giving those. It will provide us sound sleep, good health, and you'll have quiet breathing. Explain the expression of bower quiet for us. Bower here, shady, boon, a shade. So that will provide us kind of shade where you get a lot of comforts. What do we do every day? Every day we are reading a flowery band. We are always kind of creating a kind of attachment with this earth. Well, now next extract, you try to give answers. So let's go to the next extract. So let's try. The mid-forest brake, rich with a sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms. So there are ferns and they are sprinkled here and there. Those are the musk rose which are blooming there and they are spread all over the place. And there in the mid-forest there's a brake. Yes, and such too is a grandeur of the dunes and such a grand thing. Yes, grand thing that is there. The grandeur of the dunes. What? Of the doomsday. So what grandeur that we have imagined for the mighty dead, all those powerful people who will be there, who are dead now, but on judgment day, they will be there. Their magnificence will be remembered. Their grandeur will be remembered. And all lovely tales, all those beautiful stories, lovely stories of those legends, of those powerful people we have heard or read, an endless fountain, they are the ones providing us. What, like a fountain? It's an immortal drink pouring onto us. It is coming from the heaven, from the heaven's brink, from the heaven's edge, from the border line of the heaven that is pouring onto us. So many stories of these powerful people, legends, they are the ones which has got beauty, and those beautiful things are providing us lot of pleasure, lot of happiness, lot of joy. So what do you mean by brick? Brick is what? A thick mass of fern. That is brick. So thick mass of ferns. That is brick. Where does it grow? So it is growing all over the forest. In the middle of the forest it is growing. So what makes it all the more beautiful? So it is rich with sprinkling. So there is a sprinkling of what? So all over the place, what is spread there? Blooming musk roses. They have been spread all over. Okay, you can try other questions. Just we'll go through these questions because there are a number of questions here. What do you mean by the grandeur of the dooms? All lovely tales that we have heard or read. Explain. I already explained that. What is the source of the beauty of nature? Yes. What is the source of the beauty of nature? What is its effect on us? Yes. Then third question also, we'll just have a look at this question. Some shape of beauty moves away the pall that's covering from our dark spirits, such the sun. So he goes on enumerating all those. So these are all very important ones. Sun, moon, trees old and young, sprouting a shady boon for simple sheep. So these trees are providing shade to this sheep, and such are daffodils with green world, green surrounding they live in, and clear rills. So rills are what? Streams. Clear. So clear water in those streams that for themselves a cooling covered make. So that is providing, yes, very coolness against the hot season. The mid forest break, rich with sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms. So go through all these questions which have been given there. So what type of beauty and its effects are mentioned here? What sprouts a shady boon for sheep and how? How do daffodils and rills enrich the environment? What makes the mid-forest brick rich? So some of these short answer type questions. How do we read a flowery band? Why do human beings suffer? Or what depresses the human soul? What does Keats mean by the grandeur of doom? How do we bind ourselves to the earth every morning? Why and how is grandeur associated with the mighty dead? What is the source of the endless fountain and what is its effect? What is the message of the poem? What philosophy of life is highlighted in the poem? So that is the assignment for you. So go through all these questions. Try to answer these questions. Enough explanation is given there during these 3 sessions. Thank you. Goodbye.